working on a West Side Story movie, which I don't know why. It seems very, not Spielberg-y. But then he's also doing Indiana Jones 5, which, I'm looking forward to. Hopefully we get some redemption. I did not like Lincoln, so hopefully this is not like Lincoln. Maybe it's a little more exciting. Maybe we get to see more than just, a weeks of Ulysses S. Grant's life. I'd like to know more about him. I know very little, except he was a drunk. So hopefully we get to see some Civil War action. Hopefully we get, some of his presidency. It's not just contained for like a month or so.
And I really hope that they don't just, depict people from the South as evil just because why not? Why don't you show us the moral gray areas of the wars that he's involved in and all the litigation and everything that Ulysses S. Grant screwed up? And how about the fact that Ulysses S. Grant owned more slaves than Robert E. Lee, who was the general of the Southern Army? So all these things combined, why don't we talk about that? Well, who knows? I don't know if they're going to talk about it, but, it'd be something else to see him talk about it. But we're going to go into a quick break.
And talk about it.
Yeah, talk about it. We'll be back with some Star Wars in just 1 second, so stay tuned.
Oh, I love that.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just on Facebook.
What are you liking?
I don't even know. I'm just mindlessly hitting because, I just don't know.
At least like something that's worth actually liking.
Like what?
Like the new 90.3 WHPC page on Facebook.
Oh, I like that.
Search for 90.3 WHPC on Facebook and join the conversation happening right now on the voice of Nassau Community College. Yes, like 90.3 WHPC on Facebook.
I do like that.
As I was saying, like 90.3 WHPC on Facebook. From the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hi, I'm Rob Leonard, host of Beatles Songs for the past 24 years right here on WHPC. Beatles Songs airs every Friday from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., playing the music of the Beatles together, apart, along with Beatle cover songs and songs the Beatles covered, along with songs the Beatle either guested on and or produced. And of course, we provide Beatle news. It's not the same show where they play the same 10 songs. So join me every Friday for Beatle Songs, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College, streaming at ncc.edu/WHPC.
Hey, this is Lucy Pohl. Follow me on Twitter, Lucy Pohl Comedy, and Instagram, You Love Lucy, and you're listening to Nerdvana.
Star Trek.
The Final Frontier.
William Shatner.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
Leonard Nimoy
is dead.
Beam me up. Well, beam me down. Be with Leonard Nimoy.
Lost in Space.
2001. A Space Odyssey.
Predator.
Brave Little Toaster.
Futurama.
Braveheart.
Stop calling it brave. That's not the word.
Braveheart, The Space Odyssey. Space Balls.
Yes.
The Schwartz is with us always.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk some Star Wars.
No one escapes from Pizza the Hut.
Listen, I'm going to be the first guy that says I hate Spaceballs.
Why?
It's not funny. It's not funny.
What is wrong with you?
It's not the worst movie. I just don't think it's that funny.
Ludicrous speed, man. Ludicrous speed.
Listen, some of it's good. I love Rick Moranis. I love John Candy. I just think they've done better work.
Oh, wow.
Pizza the Hut. Oh, it's funny.
It is funny. Stop it.
When they're combing the desert.
Oh, with an actual
They were literally combing the desert. That was like one of the greatest scenes ever. We found
I like Michael Winslow in it. Michael Winslow's great with the sound effects.
Yeah. What are we watching?
Oh.
This is now. You are watching now.
Do we got a caller?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on.
Who's calling?
Maybe it's a Spaceballs fan.
It is a Spaceballs
Maybe it's Mel
fan.
Brooks.
It's Mel Brooks.
Why are you making fun of my movie?
My movie's so great. Why are you making fun of it? It's a great movie.
I think Mel Brooks has better comedies.
Absolutely.
So somebody just came onto the phone and said, "May the Schwartz be with you," and hung up.
Oh, no. It's definitely John from Freeport.
Listen,
I'm a royal fan.
No matter what, I will say that Blazing Saddles is his best movie.
Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, I'll take over
Oh yeah, 100%.
Over Spaceballs.
100%, but it's still an
Can we do a
incredibly
Mel
funny
Brooks
movie.
show one day?
I'd like to. I need to see some more of his movies. I've never seen The Producers.
Oh, yeah, me neither.
I've heard good things.
That
Yeah,
is one of
I've
the-
heard absolutely nothing but
All right,
perfect
hold
things
on.
from
You
that.
know what the idea of it is, right?
What is it? It's like a Nazi-funded movie or something?
No.
This is the
so-
Star Wars.
This Star Wars. Hold, real quick, we're going into Star Wars. But what happens is they realize that as Broadway producers, they want to be Broadway producers, and they realize we'll make more money if we make a really, really bad musical that people want to see for the attraction.
Okay.
And and like that's it. We'll just make it really, really terrible and like controversial.
Yeah.
So like, what's like the most controversial and crazy musical you could think of?
It has to do with Hitler, right?
Hitler.
Okay.
So what they did was they made Springtime for Hitler, and it's trying to paint Hitler as the good guy. And that's
Oh my
that's the
God.
producers. And oh my God, it is one of the funniest and most ridiculous things ever. And I believe Gene Wilder is in the original.
Yeah.
Who was. I can't even describe
great.
it to you. Yeah, and even the remake was really funny with Matthew
I've
Broderick.
heard some things about it weren't too good.
Yeah,
I
but
heard Will Ferrell was not good in it, and I love Will Ferrell.
but there's still some pretty funny parts.
If I'm going to watch any of them, it
you
would
watch
be
the original. You watch the original and then watch the new one and compare the two. But
I don't know who did the new one, like who directed it.
I don't know. Brooks probably like produced it, but I don't think he. Yeah,
Producer.
But in any case, it is one of the funniest movies or musicals that you'll watch, and it won Tonys. It won Tonys. I believe it was one of the most successful, if not the most successful, Broadway show, and they adapted it to Broadway.
Yes, I remember.
So
that.
I wish I could have seen it on Broadway, but
Nathan Lane.
yes, Nathan Lane, who I think is in the remake. Yeah, he's in the remake.
Yeah.
He's in the remake, so he's a good part of it. Nathan Lane's awesome, but yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. Definitely go check out all of Mel Brooks' stuff. A lot of it's on Netflix, I think, unless they
My buddy at work actually has the Mel Brooks collection, and he's going to
Okay.
bring it in for me. We were talking about it the other day.
Yeah, you definitely should watch it. Watch Blazing Saddles. Obviously, is the best.
I have
History
Blazing
of the
Saddles
World
on DVD.
History of the World Part 1, which we're still waiting for Part 2, but we'll get there one day.
Robin Hood Men in Tights,
Men
which
in
I haven't
Tights.
seen. That
That's a
Producers
good
I need
one.
to see.
Producers
Men
is
in
good.
Tights is fantastic.
The one, the vampire one is really good too.
Obviously, Young Frankenstein is hilarious.
Young Frankenstein is incredible.
That's got so many great one-liners and just quick. And that's another one with Gene Wilder.
What's the girl's name? Fel Brooker.
Yeah.
The horses every time. We should do that. We should try to get Mel Brooks to call in one day.
Yeah, if he knows how to operate a phone these days. We should get Gene Wilder.
Oh, High Anxiety. That's a good one.
Gene
too.
Wilder should call in.
Yeah, he definitely should.
I don't think
So should Andre the Giant for Squared Circle.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder. You know who's going to play the role of the black sheriff in Blazing Saddles?
Oh.
Richard Pryor,
Really?
who actually co-wrote the movie. But I don't think they wanted to hire him. I don't know as to why, and they hired whoever played him in the movie. And he did a good job, but it would have been interesting to see Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder on the screen because they did a bunch of other movies later on in their career. Some of my favorite films involve those two. So,
Dracula. I'm sorry. It was Dracula was the vampire movie. Oops. Which has one of the funniest actors of all time in it. What's his name? Leslie Nielsen.
Oh, he's great.
Leslie Nielsen as Dracula is one of the funniest things ever.
Leslie Nielsen, he was a serious actor, which is the funny thing. Like, he was a legit serious actor, then he did Airplane, and then he kind of
Naked Gun.
He started doing all these spoof movies, whether it's Naked Gun, the Scary Movie sequels,
Spy Hard,
countless. They don't make movies like that anymore.
No,
but they do make Star Wars movies.
They do. So let's talk about him. But before we talk about the Star Wars movies, we're giving away tickets to CradleCon. So I'll read the script and Colton will take the call. So call in right now, 516-572-7440 to win 2 tickets to CradleCon, a comic collectible and pop culture con.
Say it slower.
At the Cradle of Aviation
You want me to
Museum
do it?
in Garden City. Tickets are good for Sunday, June 24th meet and greet. Comic book creators find rare books and toys, and cosplayers can show off their work. For all ages, created by fans, for fans. For more information about CradleCon can be found at cradleofaviation.org.
And what's the number?
516-572-7440. I'll say it one more time. 516-572-7440. 888-866-7440. Call in and win some tickets to CradleCon. We'll be there. It'll be a lot of fun.
You're not going to want to miss this. This is a great giveaway. I mean, if you want to collect toys, you want to collect comics, you want to see, celebrities, there's going to be Dan Harmon, who's co-creator of Rick and Morty and also created Community. Yeah, I mean, that's a really big get. I'm sure they're going to have other big names there. I know some of the Power Rangers are going to be there. So, if you want to check this out, you're going to get tickets. And, we got a caller. So we'll take that right now. And let's talk a little bit of Star Wars.
Yes.
So
this week, Solo is coming out, a Star Wars film. It's all about the early life of Han Solo. And it's going to be something else. Justin, you and me have been on the hate train for this movie.
Yes, we've said it before. We'll try and make this part brief because I don't want this to all be a hate-filled thing. I just think it's an unnecessary story. And I've said this so many times, so forgive me if you've heard it before. When I think of Han Solo, I think of a character that the less is more. The less you know about him, the less the backstory and the reasoning as to why he is who he is, I think makes him a more interesting character. You can kind of create your own vision as to why he is the way he is. And the fact that they're going to explain everything, I'm sure they'll have a scene where his parents get killed or something that's just, it takes away from the mysteriousness of Han Solo. So I'm not looking forward to it. Me and Joe are going opening night. Colton's going to be coming, as will Colton's girlfriend, Nicole. So it's going to be an all-star studded event.
I mean, for me, when you look, I just think this is the wrong origin movie for them to make. There's other characters that in the Star Wars universe, and it kills you because you want to know where are they and what are they doing. You look at characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi, a guy who, if he really wanted to, probably could have been the general of the rebellion and probably could have won the He could have probably won a war for the rebellion before any thing really started. And what did he do? He just sat on Tatooine? Why? So it's why couldn't you explore that story and tell us why did he do what he was doing? Or you can look at a guy like Boba Fett. All you know about Boba Fett is that he wears cool armor and apparently he's the best bounty hunter in the galaxy.
And you're wearing a shirt.
I am. And Boba Fett, if you read the old EU, the expanded universe, you would know that Boba Fett did a lot of incredible things. He would rob entire imperial fleets, and he would be he would smuggle people through the most insane blockades. Boba Fett was a force to be reckoned with. But now, since they've thrown all that out the window, what makes Boba Fett the guy that you see in Return of the Jedi? This guy that's supposed to be the best at falls or Empire.
Yeah.
Well, you see him in Return too. Oh, no.
Yeah, no, he dies in Return.
He dies in Return, but he's held to such a high standard, and it's how did he get there? So we don't know in the new Disney canon how that happened. So make a video game, a movie, a book. Tell us what's going on with him. So there's so much of that kind of stuff that you want to know that they're not exploring.
You know what I want to know? First of all, why do we need a Solo movie? I was very happy not knowing Han Solo's background. I feel like his entire charm was the fact that we have no idea how he acquired all the skills that he has.
Right.
And he could fudge his backstory every time he tells it, kind of like a Joker kind of character.
Well, that also goes with a character that's in this movie as well, Lando Calrissian. What is truth and what is lie with him?
Yeah.
You don't need to know. When you watch him in the Rebels TV show, he goes on and he tells them he's this great rebellion general and all this stuff, but this is years before he even got involved with the rebellion. He was just lying to them to get close with them. So it's one of those things where it's less, like you said, less is more. So why couldn't they have explored a character like an Obi-Wan, like Boba Fett? Even how about go backwards? Why don't you make if you really want to make a prequel story, why don't you try to fix the prequels and pick a prequel character that doesn't suck?
Yeah,
right.
Maybe a Qui-Gon Jinn, and try to redeem something.
Most boring character.
Instead, what you're doing is you're creating a Solo backstory, which is a 50-50 shot at being good and could ruin a character for some people. It sucks.
But you know what I really would have wanted? I was reading a Star Wars book a little while back. I think I talked about it briefly. It's called Death Troopers. I know there's a resurgence now with horror movies. Horror movies are becoming popular again. I think this would have been an amazing opportunity for Disney to throw a horror movie into the mix, because
they wouldn't do it.
They just play safe. They wouldn't.
Yeah, but that would be an amazing movie. Like the Death Troopers movie, that would be so cool.
Listen, they're barely willing to venture out of the main characters. They're not even willing to make an Obi-Wan Kenobi prequel story, which has